Today is going to be about income producing activities. And let me just set up better view. If you have any questions in regards to income producing activities, now is the time to put it into the chat. Wait, can you please help me with this?
Yeah.
I tested the eraser.
How'd it work?
It's good.
We didn't have an eraser for like the longest time. I thought I ordered it, but I didn't. So I had to order it not that long ago.
Yeah. But you know what? I think we need a new whiteboard.
Yeah, there's like marks on there.
Yeah, I can't get it off. This whiteboard has been here since the first fire hour.
It's been through a lot of writing.
It's been through battles.
Could you imagine if it was like a chalkboard?
A chalkboard?
Yeah, like imagine if you had to like write on a chalkboard. How much friction that would be.
Okay, income producing activities. Does everyone know what an income producing activity is? And then I also have a question. For those, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, that is specifically to thrive. So I'm going to talk about the fundamentals of an income producing activity and how you can pour fuel on the fire. That's what this topic is going to be about today. Sorry, I got 4 hours of sleep. I'm trying to get some energy in, get some space in.
We were on a long call last night, but it was a good call.
That was good. Okay. Let's get it. I'm fired up. This. So income producing activities. If you're new to Fire Hour, welcome back to Fire Hour. This is a series, a season of creating momentum. And actually today, just to let you guys know, Crystal and I are on our run. So we are starting our run. And yeah, I just want to share with you guys this too, because we like to be transparent and authentic, keep everything real and raw. Last night we received some devastating news, and it's even though it was a devastating, just devastating to receive, like this news that we lost someone very dear to us, it inspired us to go on this run, because tomorrow's never promised, because the goals and dreams that we are going after, sometimes you might run out of time, right? There's just so many different factors that can come into life and play at life. And so for us, yeah, we received like some devastating news, but it's always about perspective. You have to feel everything in life. And so for me personally, when I received that news, I took it, I just took a look at it, and I was just like, damn, like, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for me? How can I observe this feeling that I am feeling within? And how can I use this to help me move forward, right? There was something that was coming up for me last night at like 12 midnight, when I was meditating. And it was always just about like, what keeps you moving? What keeps you moving forward? What keeps you going after your goals? What keeps you getting up, after like not sleeping? What is that inspiration for you? What is that energy for you? What is that movement for you? What is that spark for you? What is that light that you're going towards? So like what keeps you moving forward, right? For me, what keeps me moving forward is my mission, is the people I'm around, my family, is you guys, is the community, is helping someone get to their goals, is being a catalyst for change in people's lives, of positivity. There's so many things for me personally that keeps me up at night, that keeps me moving though, that keeps me getting up even though I don't sleep. There's things that will always propel me forward. And whenever I get a hit in life, I always look at it and I just ask myself, like, what does this mean for me? And based on the meaning that I apply it, it's going to give me that energy. I could have taken this news last night as I should quit. I should just stop everything I'm doing now. I should not show up to Fire Hour tomorrow. I should not, I should just basically stop in my tracks and decide to quit. But instead, I have to use this to fuel me. I need to use this to fuel me. That person's life was a catalyst to change, to positive change in my life. And so if I am not going to use that energy for the greater good, then what am I doing? You see that? So for me, that's what I took from that, right? And as I navigate through this, my next journey and my next steps moving forward, I want to make sure that I use that energy to fuel me, to empower myself and everyone else around me, right? A leader, everything rises and falls in leadership, right? A leader is influence. A leader is you stepping up, showing up, and just being you. And just by being you, every single other person around you is influenced, whether it's a positive or negative. It's going to be based on you, your presence, just you being you. Last year, I said that. Last year, I said that when you show up and you have been working on yourself and you have been, working on your mindset, working on your health, working on your wealth, working on your finances, working on your relationships, working on your self-love, working on everything. When you show up in a room, that energy transfers to everyone else just by being you. And so what's cool about this community is that you get to work on yourself intentionally every single time you show up. Every single day that you wake up, you get to decide who you want to be by the end of the day. You get to decide what work you put in by the end of the day. You get to decide and look back on that entire day. Right now, just to give it as an example, it's 6:08 a.m., right? If you're in the East Coast, 3 hours ahead. If you're on the other side of the world, 12, 10, 8 hours ahead, right? Guess what? Look back on the day and do a review. Did you get better? Did you get one step closer to your goals? Did you take action on the things that you said you would do, right? Is your word your bond? These are things that you want to look at as a leader, because I truly believe that you are a leader. Every single one of us is a leader, whether we like it or not, simply because when you show up just by being you, you influence and affect everyone else around you, no matter what, especially for parents. That's something that I learned after having children is they look, they view, they see, they review, they observe, they perceive, they take whatever you are and they adapt it to themselves. And then from there, they take action on it. Who are you around them? Who are you around your friends? Are your friends influencing you? Positive or negative? Are your mentors guiding you towards the right path? Are you leading yourself towards the right path? What is these questions, right? There's a lot of different questions that we want to ask ourselves, but again, the quality of the questions will determine the quality of the answer based on how you receive it, you perceive it, and how others share it with you. So I want to just share with you today that for me, I'm going to be doing my best every single day. I'm committed to getting to my goals. I'm committed to excellence, striving for excellence through efforts, right? I talked about the dojo kun, like the 5 rules of the dojo when I was little, when I started in martial arts at the age of 4. The 5 rules of the dojo kun. I don't know if I actually shared that.
I don't know. I think you went over like the 5 rules of life that your parents taught you, but I don't know about this. This is new to me, so I'm listening.
Okay. All right, let me share. Let's get started. So let me just share these real quick, and then we're going to go into IPAs. But if you look back at your life, you look at the foundations that either your parents have set or you yourself has set, or the environment has set for you, right? For me, when I grew up at the age of 4, like at the age of 3, I was already observing my dad. So again, influence, right? Observing who's around you. I was around my dad and my mom. My dad, at the age of 3, I can remember, my dad was always practicing martial arts. And guess what? Because he was doing that, because he was practicing, working on himself, when I see him, when I was observing him at 3 years old, I was already influenced. I already knew that, all right, I'm gonna do martial arts. So guess what? At the age of 4, I actually get started in martial arts. So now I'm training 1 to 2 hours every single day. And then from there, I'm getting influenced. And so one of the 5 rules that we had in terms of the dojo is the 5 rules of the dojo kun, which is 1, to seek to attain perfection of character. right?
Okay, now I
You remember
remember.
now?
A long
Yeah.
time ago.
To seek to attain perfection of character, right? Working on myself, character, development, mastery, self-mastery. To live with politeness and discipline, right? To live with politeness and discipline. To honor the code of ethical behavior. To strive for excellence through efforts. To refrain from impetuous conduct. Those are the 5 rules that the dojo has set for me. That's part of my foundation, right? That's part of my character. What's in my mind, instinctually ingrained, integrated into my everyday, right? Into my being. Another 5 rules of life that my parents made up, that they share with me from ever since I was little, is we call it the 5 rules of life. Be good, be healthy, work hard, get along, do something good with your life, right? The 5 rules of life. That's what was instilled into me. So those are just 2 principles right there, 2 foundational principles that I remember growing up with and ingraining and integrating it into my life. And now ever since then, I've carried it out throughout my entire life. And if I forgot those, guess what happened to me personally? That's my path. I made mistakes. Just because I went off the path, because I forgot my foundation, it was mentally forgotten. I just made one decision. The compound effect worked against me in a negative way, and then from there, it led me towards a dark path. And because of Crystal, I actually found my way back to the light, which is really wild. So anyways, for you, if you just ask yourself, what are those foundational rules for yourself? And then if you have children, if you have kids, what are you teaching them? Right? What are you verbally speaking to them? What are you showing them? How are you showing up for them? How are you showing up for yourself, which in turn influences them and everyone else around you in your community, right? Everyone who's following you on social media, how are you influencing them, right? Is it positive? Is it negative? Who knows? Okay. But just take a self-audit, audit yourself, review yourself daily. And the next step to taking this to the next level is accountability, is having an accountability partner, right? For me, every single day, because we live together, I show up and then she gets to be my accountability partner and vice versa. And if I'm not getting better every single day, she notices, right? And then I don't hear the end of it. I'm just kidding.
That's our job sometimes,
No, but yeah, that's what iron sharpens iron is all about, right? If you don't have someone that is operating on the same level as you, or is going towards the same vision as you, or is aligned with you in your goals and dreams, look for someone. Seek and you shall find. Look for someone to hold you accountable. It's so crucial and important, especially if you want to play at a different game, at a different level. If you want to play your game at a different level, accountability is the next step. This weekend, I don't know when I'm going to release this, but this weekend, I'm going to be going for a retreat, a men's retreat. And guess what? Part of my intentions for going to this retreat is to step up my accountability game. 2 days ago, I literally shared that in the group chat. And I told them part of my intentions is to step up my accountability. Because why? I want to get better for me. I want to show up differently for me. I want to just crush and dominate my goals. So that way I can influence and impact the masses in a positive way. That's for me. You got yelled at for not being organized enough yesterday. That's good.
Yeah. And then see, I used to fight back. And that's the thing, like between couples, it's like you love each other, right? But at the same time, like if you see something, you're going to say something because you're around each other every single day. Like if I see something from a friend that I don't normally see all the time, I'm like, whatever, like I'm not going to bring it up. But the thing is, like when you're a couple and you're in a relationship and you guys both have the same goals and dreams and you want to take your family along for that ride, it's like you have to be able to accept the criticism, right? Like the feedback, right? The critical feedback. And you have to just like center yourself and be like, it's not personal. Like we are both going towards this goal. And my partner that's with me all the time, they're going to see something and they're going to see maybe like an unconscious habit that I constantly have day over day. And it's like, out of the best for your family and for yourselves, it's like you want to break out of that. So it's kind of like, you know, in the beginning, it's like the ego wants to fight back, like back and forth, back and forth. But if you actually stop and like drop into your heart and you're like, you know, is this true what they're saying about me? Do other people say this about me? Do I even say this about myself? Is this something that I want to improve in myself that I always tell myself? If yes, then you know what? Like sit with it, accept it. It's not personal. I want to get better. I'm going to get better. So I'm going to accept what they say. And basically their feedback of what they say to me on a daily basis sometimes, right? Especially if you work together
Yeah.
24/7, 24/7 we're together, okay? You're going to hear it more, right? But the more you can accept it and be like, you're right. You told me this yesterday, the day before yesterday, 2 weeks ago, like I need to figure it out, you know?
Mhm.
And kids, they are like the best at it, right? Like if they see something, they will call you out. If you're like, you guys should do this and you're not doing it, they will be the first ones to call you out. And of course, like as adults, or maybe this happened to you before, you call your parents out and they're like, you know, I can do it because I'm an adult, right? Like I can do, no, like we listen, like we're like, hey, you know what? You're right. Like I'm not leading by example. I'm only telling you to do something I'm not practicing.
Mm.
So thank you for the feedback. You're right. Like I'm going to improve. And that's how you start to improve. It's like you allow your ego to take a back seat. You center yourself, drop into your heart. Like what values did you have out, right? So going back
Yeah.
to what you were saying, like this is kind of like the foundations of income producing activities, because sometimes you need to know why and you need to know how you're doing it, right? So
Mhm.
setting the foundations for your family. What are your principles, right? A long
Yeah.
time ago, you gave me the framework of setting principles in the house between couples. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like the rules, like when you go on a playground, there's rules to the playground to keep you safe, but also respectful of others, right? So in your home, in your family, in your own life, what are your values and what are your principles? Because when it comes to doing income producing activities, when you're going towards a certain goal, most of the time it's financial goals in order to be able to get the extra time, options, freedom, whatever. Set your principles. Like, what are you okay with doing? What are you not okay with doing? Like, you know, when you're doing things, like, are you honest? Are you
Mhm.
an honest person? Are you timely? Are you consistent? Are you taking accountability for your actions, right? Set principles for yourself, just like how you had rules. And growing up, I had principles. It wasn't really spoken about, but it was just like, do as you're told because, or sometimes there was no because. It was a look, like it was a look, and it was like you knew what you had to be doing and you know what you were doing to get that look. So what are your principles and what are your values for yourself and for your family? Because that should always be your guide. You should always know, if I'm doing an income producing activity, what is my principles? Does that go
Mhm.
against my principles of being honest, being accountable, being consistent, what have you?
Yes. And to add on to that, you know, when it comes to receiving criticism, right, or feedback, it's very important, right? I want you to pay attention to this. Notice this. When you receive feedback, when you label something, if you say like it was, you know, constructive criticism, what does that word mean to you? How does that energy affect you? Is it positive or negative? Right? If it's negative, change the wording. It's that simple. That's why when instead of saying constructive criticism, just say feedback, right? Feedback is it's gonna
Feedback.
yeah, it's gonna
I
be
like that
lighter.
better.
It's like a lighter word for you to receive that information. And then once you receive it, again, you assign meaning to that, right? You assign meaning to what it means. Like I shared with you before, in the very beginning of this call. You know, when we received that news, I said devastating. It is devastating. But what does devastating mean to me? Right? So again, you have to be mindful of the thoughts that enter your mind and that you label them. How do you label them? It's crucial, right? Because when you assign meaning, this is what I learned from Tony Robbins, right? When you assign meaning to something, to a word, that word will carry energy. And based on the energy that you receive from that word, it's going to affect you in a positive or negative way, right? We want to amplify all the positives as much as possible. But when you look at life through a lens of duality, you're going to see the good and the bad. You need to start to look from a different perspective to really receive that information and see the whole picture, the big picture. And then from there, step back into it. One thing that you were saying too is, you know, when you're playing the game, right? If you're at the park on the playground, you want to know the rules of the
Yeah.
playground, right? It's the same thing in business. You want to know the rules of the game that you're playing, so that way you can win the game, right? So income producing activities is part of the rules of business. It's part of the game. It's part of learning how to get better and actually get an advantage, an unfair advantage for yourself, because it's a disservice for you to not have an unfair advantage at getting after your goals and dreams, right? Why set goals and dreams? And then from there, make it such an uphill battle for yourself. Life is already going to do that for you. There's so many external factors that are going to be thrown at you. There's so many variables that are going to be thrown at you. Guess what? Let's try to make it as simple as possible for ourselves, so that we can really enjoy the journey, right? Really enjoy the ride, and also through the ups and downs, right? Especially the downs. That's Crystal says this all the time, but when you're going through the downs, when you're in the dumps, when you're at rock bottom, when you're on the journey, just trying to get to the destination, she always says this. When you're at the destination, you're going to always remember the journey. You're always going to be like, I want to go back to the journey. Like, those were the funnest times. Guess what? There is truth to that. So if you're on your journey right now, which we all are on, then do your best to enjoy it, right? Do your best to enjoy it. The journey is the destination. Yes,
It is.
It is.
It's along that journey you discover yourself. You discover like your strength, your resilience, your mindset, your emotions, what makes you you, what drives you. Because sometimes we actually aren't self-aware. We think we know and we don't know until we come across situations we never been across, right? So as much as you put yourself in out of your comfort zone is as much as you're going to learn about yourself. Like there's always another level to it, right? So when you're going after a goal, once you hit that goal, I mean, you don't just stop there, right? Like, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but personally, what I've found out for myself is sometimes I haven't even known that I even arrived at a goal, right? Until something happens and I'm like, oh, I got to look back, right? And I got to see that. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I actually hit my goal. I never stopped and realized it because I kept going. I love discovering who I am along the way, right? Like, what are your strengths? What are some things you need to work on? And who do you work well with? What do you work well on? So the journey to your destination, the journey to your goal is actually the journey to you becoming the best version of you that you know you can become. So
wherever you go, you take who with you? You take you. So work on yourself, okay? Before I met Crystal, and then this is like part of like my foundation, right? I strayed away from my foundation. I started to do things that were not me, and I was really letting the ego lead my life instead of me leading the ego, instead of me leading my life, right? And so guess what? Before Crystal, it's the same thing. It's like I was going everywhere and I was not happy. I was, in a very low frequency, a low vibe. But guess what? It was me. I couldn't see me. I couldn't see myself. So it's because I forgot the foundations, the principles, the mindset, working on myself, self-development, personal development, self-mastery, being committed to my goals and dreams, being committed to the best version of myself. The only reason why I share that is because everywhere you go, no matter where you go, you always bring who with you, you always bring you with you, right? So work on your goal, decide and commit and be intentional with showing up for yourself, with doing the work, putting your head down and going to work, becoming the best version of yourself, surrounding yourself with people who are playing the game at a different level, because they're going to bring you up with you. I tell this to the kids all the time, okay? People are like elevators. They can either take you up or down in life. So surround yourself with the people who are going to bring you up in life, right? Who you hang out with is who you become. Surround yourself with winners. Surround yourself with people who are self-mastery motivated. Surround yourself with people who are influenced and inspired by making an impact. Surround yourself with people who are playing their game and stepping it up to the next level because you deserve to, right? There's so many people out there in the world that are amazing. Guess what? Find them, attract them in, get accountable, start to show up differently, be that person for someone else, right? Step your game up. I'm doing it. Crystal's doing it. It's time to go. Influence is everything. Who you are How you show up is how you influence everyone else. Okay, do the work, and then when we all get together in person, let it speak for you. Let that energy speak for you. All right, let's get it. Income producing activities. Thank you all so much for holding space for us, by the way. I seen the comments. I really appreciate it.
guys.
And we receive your love. So thank you. Be seen. Let's go. Let's do this. We are aligned. All right, let's get it. Income producing activities. Okay. I'm going to share with you the foundation, but let me just break it down to its simplest form. Income, right? Just look at this. Income is money. Producing activities, okay? It's just generating activities, moving energy to money. That's it, okay? So when you think about income producing activities, there's going to be procedures, right? There's going to be a system of operation on how to increase your income producing activities, right? Your money making moves, right? But I'm going to share with you that first, the foundation. I'm going to break it down super simple so we can go faster. All right, check this out. Right here, this is money, income. This arrow is your producing activities, your money making moves. Okay, this is the operations, the system, the foundation. This is the bread and butter, the day-to-day, the DMO. Okay, the daily method of operation. This should be instinctual. It should be non-negotiable. It should be ingrained. If you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, if you have the ability to make your own income, this right here is your foundation. If you're working in a full-time job, your foundation for this is clocking in and out.
Showing up.
It's showing up to your job, clocking in, being the best version of you as an employee, being the most valuable, invaluable asset to that company.
Yep.
Do that, you'll climb the corporate ladder. You'll climb that ladder. And if people are not producing you, they're not promoting you, then guess what? It's time to maybe seek a different opportunity. Time to seek a different path because you deserve to. Okay. I was working for one of the biggest companies in terms of the online space and entrepreneurs. The reason why I left was a number of factors, but one of them for me personally was the amount of income that I can make.
Yeah.
I was capped out. I was at the top of the company. I climbed from the very beginning. I got promoted because I was doing my best to become the most invaluable employee. Guess what happened? That was the baby. Sorry. Is it invaluable?
Yes.
Yeah. Invaluable employee. Guess what? I said, I'm going to go after my goals and dreams because I want more, because I feel like I deserve more, right? It's okay to say, I deserve more.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, I deserve better. It's okay to say, I deserve all that I can get after life. Guess what? If we have one life, why not make the most of it? Yeah. Whatever goal you have, you can do. Again, it's possible. Whatever position you're in currently, if you are not happy with your position, first and foremost, take an audit of yourself. Yeah. Review yourself. Look at yourself. Can you be better? Yeah. Can you improve?
Are you doing your best?
Are you doing your best every single moment of your life? I'm telling you right now, let's step it up. Let's hold ourselves accountable. Let's step our leadership game to the next level. I know that there's people out there who are leaders already. Let's surpass them. They have helped us. We can use and receive their energy. It's because of them that we're able to get to these next levels. That's evolution.
They show you what's possible.
They show you what's possible. And then from there, because your possibilities, the expansion in your mind has grown, expanded. Now you can step it up to the next level, right? Things are going faster, right? Things are getting bigger. Things are getting stronger. Things are getting smarter. There's so many things that are happening in the world right now. Guess what? Why not you? Okay. So this right here, this arrow is the producing activities, is the energy, right? The goal is this. The goal is how many can you activate? Okay. How many of these arrows can you activate? Because that's now leverage. That's leverage. I'm going to talk about social media today as well. And then we're going to have to do another separate Fire Hour session, an episode specifically on social media. But this right here, I'm going to cover it because I want to pour fuel on the fire. I want this Fire Hour episode, this Fire Hour training, this session to be one of the most impactful sessions you ever receive in your entire life. And so again, review your notes, take notes. Note takers are money makers. Note takers are disciplined. It's all about self-mastery. It's about getting to the next level. This right here Yes, there is for this specific business with Thrive. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is one of these arrows, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's one arrow, right? Do you have a social media marketing strategy? A specific one for this. Aside from this one, what else do you have? Right? How many efforts do you have in play? That's the question to ask yourself. How many efforts do you have in play at all times? You want to multiply your leverage. You want to multiply the chances that you can have at winning. Okay. So this one's another one, network. Who's around you? Who's supporting you? Who is in your team? Who's your affiliates? Who's your referrals? Right? This is all network right here. Right? That's people. You know why there was so much momentum in 2020 when we first started doing FIREHOUR, where there was people getting recognized daily, where there was records being break daily, where there was top income producing earners that have been produced, like Angela right here already, how come there was so many like levels being destroyed, like getting to the next level, being accomplished, being achieved? It's because of momentum. It's because of that momentum, the 90-day run. It's because of the network, the efforts, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s, the income producing activities. It's because of the levels that every single person here committed to achieving daily, showing up, whether you like it or not, being accountable to your team, to your goals, to your dreams, to the people on social media that follow you, to the people that are giving the recognition. So there's so many things, okay? So this right here, these are just 1, 2, 3. What else is there? There's so much more, right? How many, if you're on social media, building on Instagram, right? Or TikTok or YouTube, which ones have you not activated yet? Have you activated online efforts? What about in-person efforts? If you guys don't step into leadership, you wouldn't even be able to handle such growth. That's very true, right? I'm going to talk about, this is something that Crystal gave me as a 1%er. I'm going to share it.
I don't even know what it is.
But I've been using this, and I experienced this firsthand in 2016. And I'll share that story with you too. But the goal of your marketing, and we're going to talk about this, the goal of your marketing is to break your operations, right? The reason for that is because once you get scale, let's say, for example, you go viral on social media. Now you have an influx of leads, an influx of business, an influx of income producing activities going towards your goals. Guess what? Can you, as an operator, handle it?
Yeah.
If you can't, then you accomplished one goal so far. You accomplished the goal of marketing, of driving traffic, of getting attention at scale. The next step is now to optimize your operations, right? So we're going to talk about that. But anyways, the goal of this, the concept is, how many arrows can you activate? How many income producing activities can you activate at all times, 24/7, right? Social media is one. Let's just name it right now. Social media. And I'm talking specifically, let's say, for example, Instagram is one arrow. YouTube, another arrow. TikTok, another arrow, right? LinkedIn, another arrow. Okay, that's 4 arrows right there. That's just one thing from social media. That's your internal efforts. That's your input, right? What the beauty of this right here is that the input can be drastically increased, dramatically increased, simply because the input that you get in, the output that you get from the input it could be varied.
Yeah.
So for example, you do one Instagram post, one IG reel. Let's say you get 1,000 views. That 1,000 views is now 1,000 chances to close one deal. Does that make sense? If you post an Instagram reel, Bella, if you post one Instagram reel, you can get 1 million views. That is now 1 million chances to close one deal. How many reels do you want to do? How many short form content pieces do you want to do? What is your intention? What is your content campaign? What is your framework for creating content? How can you do it at scale? Okay, that's one of the arrows. Next, let's say, for example, with that was internal. That was you putting in the work. Now, Who else is out there that's repurposing your content? Who else is out there that is, stitching your content together? Who are you activating from them seeing your content, right? I'm going to share with you something. Stories, this is just my personal belief as a marketing consultant, as a business strategist, and also from someone who built a personal brand for freaking 5 years straight, okay? This is the mistake I made. I built majority of my personal brand on stories. How long do stories last for? 24 hours. All the effort that I put in for the 5 years I worked full time on my personal brand, all gone down the drain. Why? No one could see what I was posting 24 hours ago. No one could see it, right? So the one decision I made that was, for me personally, that's how I receive it, was a mistake in terms of my business strategy, my business decision making, was I was posting so much on my stories. What did that do for me? Right? It got me so far and it capped me out. I want to encourage you all to do your best. You can still post on stories if you want, all right? Do whatever you want to do. But I encourage you to post a lot more on posts where it's evergreen, when people 2 years from now, they go to your page, they can see your post from 2 years ago, right? That's what I want you to do, okay? There's different types of posts as well. There's different types of content campaigns that you can run. I personally have an affinity to evergreen content campaigns because of the 5 years of stress that I went through after auditing myself. Okay. So
you guys, this is gold. Like, if you're not taking notes, you are missing out, because this is the type of gold he delivers to his clients. So he recently was brought on as a marketing consultant for a company. They changed their game plan, right? But originally their game plan was, let's build this startup and then sell it to Amazon, right? So he was hired. So this is literally the 1%er gold that he's sharing with you guys right now, that he gives to his clients, right? And I told him, like, hey, when you go in anything you do, anytime anyone hires you to do consulting to help them with their social media marketing campaign, because not everyone knows what they're doing. They're testing on your dollar, right? But if you've been there, done that, seen that, experienced it like he has, I was like, you go in and your goal is to break their back end. You flood them with so much traffic, they have no idea what to do. And now they're stressed out about so much traffic, so much sales coming in. They cannot physically handle it, and they have to figure out how to fix their back end. I said, break their operations, break their back end, right? Like you have to give it all you got.
Yeah, it's so true. And so I'm going to share with you a personal story. I experienced firsthand what scale really feels like in 2016. Okay. I'm going to share with you. I'm just going to paint the picture. There's something called social media marketing agency, SMMA. Okay. SMMA, social media marketing agency. In 2016, we created an online course that taught social media marketing. Okay. We were the first program to hit scale across the globe, multiple countries. $5 million in revenue was produced in 5 days. That's from what I remember. So every single day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know the allocation of the actual the revenue numbers, but at the end of it, I just remember in the chat saying we did $5 million in 5 days. What type of scale is that, right? How do you do $5 million in 5 days with a product at $997? Right? That's what, 45. I don't know how many. $5 million divided by 1,000. Okay, what is that? And that's, for me, I need to get better at math, like the mental math. I need to be able to boom, boom, boom. But anyways, we did that. I'm going to share with you something, okay? What Crystal was saying. When you have marketing at scale, it breaks your operations. Guess what happened? I was part of the operations when that was happening. I was the head of the operations when that was happening, the head of the customer support team. Guess what was crazy? There was only 5 people in my customer support team, including myself, when this happened. I was on 2 different phones at the same time with hundreds and hundreds of chats, and I had to still reply to emails. And at that time, because we had to, my boss, he asked me, he said, what is the number one company in the world that has the best customer support? And it was not Amazon. It was something else completely. I forgot. But it was one of these companies that their goal was to meet customers' emails and customer contact in under 2 minutes. So guess what we had? We instilled a 2-minute rule for every single customer. So the moment the phone rings, we have to pick up. The moment an email comes in, we have thousands of emails coming in, right? We address 3,000 emails a day, okay, at that time. Guess what? If we don't get that inbox to 0, then we can't hit our 2-minute goal, right? I have all the chats. I remember reading it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like how are we going to get to 2 minutes per reply for this email? There's thousands of emails coming in. How are we going to hit it, right? When we hit scale, when this happened, when we launched SMMA, this went viral. This went crazy. This was our most successful program that we ever launched. $5 million in 5 days. Thousands. I'm talking that tens of thousands of people, success stories, people influenced and impacted and inspired. To this day, one of the most relevant businesses that anyone can start is SMMA, social media marketing services, right? I have a social media marketing service because Crystal told me you better do this because I hired you for this. Like,
well, the thing is like, I go out there, I talk to other entrepreneurs and business owners, right? So I'm out there, I'm talking to entrepreneurs, I'm talking to business owners, I'm talking to people that I work with that I use their service or I'm just around, right? And they're like, I need to do this and I need to do that. And I'm just getting feedback. I'm getting real-time feedback in the marketplace of what business owners and entrepreneurs who don't have that much time, that don't specialize this is what they need. They're like, you know what? I tried to learn it. I was thinking about learning it. I kind of dabbled a little bit. I kind of hired this person, that person. They didn't know what they were doing. So after thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars spent going in the wrong direction, like I've kind of given up, or it's so hard to look for someone that actually knows what they're doing and doesn't just say it and then just, experience how it is to do that type of business on your dime. So I was like, hey, you need to offer this service because at the end of the day, like, although you give them the strategy, they do not have the time to do this. They don't have the time to do these types of things. Like they just don't want to learn it. They're already doing their business and making their bread and butter, right? So if they spread themselves too thin, they're going to be good at nothing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I told him that I'm like, this is what other entrepreneurs are telling me. This is what they're saying. This is what they want. And so you just got to figure it out.
Yeah. And so for me, like, the only reason why I didn't want to offer a social media marketing management service is because, like, is that the best use of my time? Right? Is that me personally the best use of my time? And especially for my client, is it the best use of my time? My expertise, my knowledge, my experience, right? For me, as a business strategist, as a marketing consultant, as an advisor, as a partner, my goal and my intention, and something that everyone should know, every person that works with me should know, is that I have a fiduciary responsibility for my clients. That means that I have their best interest at heart. That's my priority. If their interest is not the best for me, for them, then guess what? I'm just going to fail. When I did FIREHOUR 2020, I had a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that every single thing that I share, that I speak about, that I teach on FIREHOUR is in your best interest. It's for you to achieve your goals and dreams. That's what FIREHOUR is all about. I've never changed that intention. Since day one, that was my intention. Since day one, 3 years ago, that was my intention. It has never changed. That's why this is different. That's why when you go into other coaching calls, other seminars, other events, when you go pay for like whatever mentorship, I'm sharing with you right now, my intention, this is just from me, my truth. I have made $0 from FIREHOUR. $0. I have received zero compensation for FIREHOUR 3 years in a row. I am doing this so that way for you, the best benefit is in it for you. So that way you can receive all the information. You can receive the golden nuggets. You can receive the 1%ers. You can receive the information that I have to share from knowledge, experience, my own mentorships, all these things for free. Whatever you do with it is up to you, right? I'm just passing the ball to you. Now, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with this game, right? It's up to you. It's up for you. Whatever your intention is for your goals, for your life, for your dreams, it's on you now, right? I'm just passing this on. That's it. Okay. So when it comes to with working with clients, that's my goal. That's my intention. My intention is if I want to be in business with them, then guess what? I better make sure that it's in their best interest to receive as much of my information, my experience, my knowledge, my beliefs, everything that I have, that I already know that works, that I already know that it's going to help them get leverage, that I already know it's going to activate multiple income streams for them, that's going to activate multiple producing activities for them, that's going to break their operations, that's going to help them achieve their vision, their goals, their ideas, make more impact. That's what I do. That's why, when you find someone who can offer the same value, you got to get them on your team ASAP. You want to surround yourself with the best people possible because it's in their best interest to do so. It's in your best interest to do so. It's in your best interest to become the best version of you. Wherever you go, who do you take with you? You take yourself with you. You take you. So you better become the best version of yourself for yourself and for everyone else around you. Okay? I'm gonna talk about this right here. This is just a framework that I use for business. Traffic, front end, back end.
Yep.
Okay. Traffic, front end, back end. I got this from a guy named Alex Becker, super smart entrepreneur. I learned this in 2017 or something. This model is just, it applies to every business. Okay. This is traffic, which is your marketing efforts, your in-person efforts, your arrows. These are all the arrows. Okay. The goal is this: multiply as much of this traffic as possible. So that way your front end, this is your operations. Your front end receives all that energy and now it breaks. If your operations breaks, that's a good problem to have because that means that you're getting a lot more chances to close deals. You're getting a lot more chances to produce income for your business, for your company, right? For your employer, whatever that may be. Then from there, because you activated all these marketing efforts, there's scale now. There's marketing scale for you. There's attention produced, that's scale for you. Your operations is going to break. If it doesn't break, let's increase the traffic, right? Let's increase it. Let's increase the efforts because you want to keep on breaking the operations until it gets to a point where it's so optimized that it's frictionless. And then now you can really focus on just amplifying the traffic over and over again and then working on the back end. The back end is profit, okay? This back end is all profit, but it's also about customer experience, client experience. Is it the best experience that your clients or customers can receive, right? That's this back end stuff right here. There's so much more on the back end, but I'm not going to get into it today because I really want to focus on the traffic and the front end because the traffic is your money-making activities, okay? It's your social media efforts. It's your networking efforts. It's you speaking on stages. It's you speaking on Zoom calls. It's you showing up on social media. It's you showing up in person. I just repeated a bunch of the same words, okay? But that's because that's all it is, all right? So that's the goal. Multiply as much of this. Multiply as much of this as possible. And then from there, drive it all to your operations. The goal with the front end is to at least break even. Okay, at least break even. The best possible outcome that can happen here is profit. Okay. And then from there, this right here, because it's profit, ideally you drive them to the back end. And this is where you multiply profit even more. This is where you can amplify and increase your lifetime value of the customer, lifetime value of a client, someone that will do business with you for the rest of their life. That's the goal, right? It's important to have that. This is just a simple business model to follow. If you just look at this right here, audit your traffic. How much traffic is coming in every single day, right? How many people do you need to talk to close one deal? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 100,000? Is it 1,000,000? Let me share with you something, okay? Here's an offer I'll give to everyone who sees this. All right, this can be on the Zoom call. This can be off the Zoom call. This can be in the replay. This can be on YouTube, whatever. How many people do I need to talk to close a $1 million deal? That means a client will hire me as their private consultant or advisor or business strategist, marketing consultant, whatever they need. $1 million. You get me for an entire year as your advisor, as your consultant, your marketing consultant, as a partner. $1 million. How many people do I need to attract? Do I need to share this information with? Do I need to speak to? Do I need to negotiate with? Do I need to do a meeting with? That's my offer. How many people do I need to talk to? So that way I can close a $1 million deal. And then I help them scale, help them achieve all of this, help them increase, optimize, monetize, expand, exit if they want, scale their efforts. How many people do I need to talk to? I don't know. I haven't closed a $1 million deal yet. So I'm waiting for that. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do it. If you want to do that, then let's do a deal. Let's talk. Okay. But that's my goal. Okay. That's just an example. For you, if you're selling a $160 product, how many people do you need to talk to close one deal, to help them get started with your product or service, right? With my marketing consulting, super steal of a package, right? $10,000 a month, right? At an annual basis. Guess what? Who's going to do that deal, right? How many people do I need to talk to? Again, it just goes back to this. Like, I need to increase this. You need to increase the traffic. You will get more chances to win. That's what I'm saying. That's the goal. Okay. That's just what I'm saying. Okay. Then from there, once this is happening, now you look at the operations, look at your front end. I'm going to share with you when Angela accomplished this. Okay. I remember Angela, I remember you were telling me like, yo, like, what do I do? Because I have so many DMs. I have too many people talking to me. Like, I don't have enough time to serve all these people. How can I help them all? Right. That was right there. That was the traffic destroyed the front end, the operations. It was like, damn, like I need to audit and optimize my operations, my day-to-day life. And I have a family too. I have family. I have kid. Like I have a husband. I have a wife. Guess what? Like what is happening, right? That's why this is so important. That's why this right here is number one. And then this is number two, because you want to always make sure that this is good. This operations is good. And then from there, how you do the back end, okay? So that's what I'm saying. It's important to go and activate these. On the next Fire Hour session, I want to talk about social media, right? I think it's super relevant. It's even more relevant than ever before. And not only that, but social media is marketing, it's branding, it's positioning, it's helping you get more chances at winning, right? There's so many things to it, but we need to talk about it and address it because I want to, and because it's important to get better at it, right? When it comes to the traffic, again, is there anything you wanted to add to that? Oh, okay.
Maybe towards the end, I had like a meme pop up in my head. I think in memes sometimes.
Okay. I already applied what you taught me on this call, by the way. Apply. Yes. Let your learning
Action
lead to
taker.
action. Yes.
Fast.
That's how we
action.
keep it moving. That's the most important. Thank you. Thank you.
Because as much as you learn, as much as you're here, like if you don't take the action, if you actually don't do the producing activity, you're not going to make the income, right? So earlier today, I was thinking in memes, right? Like I always just think in memes and I just like laugh to myself when I'm by myself, but it's like closed mouths do not get fed. Like I always say that. That's a saying. I didn't make it up. Closed mouths do not get fed. So what I think of, like the meme in my head when I think of that is like, you know, at like those clubs, like when they have like the money guns and they're like just shooting money everywhere. So it's like that. In the world, there is a lot of money to be made, whether you get a job, you have a side hustle, whatever you do. There is always a way to make something out there. Like the world is just like with that machine, spreading it around but if your mouth is closed, you don't get fed, right? Like if you have problems, if you have issues, if you don't know where to go, if you're stuck, ask somebody, hey, what do I do? What should I do? I need help, right? Go to that person that you know is going to help you, ask them, and then they'll have an answer. And from that answer, you will be able to hurry and step into that income producing activity. If you don't take action on the things that you learn, like you're never going to make the income, right? So closed mouths don't get fed. Think of a mama bird and like the baby birds. The mama bird comes back with the food and all the baby birds are like opening their mouths, right? If a baby bird's mouth is closed, is it going to get fed? it's not, right? So if you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody, what do I need to be doing? Where do I need to be going? Like, how do I do these income producing activities effectively, right? Because we don't all know what we don't know. And there's different levels to it, right?
And that's why it is important to always be a student, no matter what, right? Okay, again, so income producing activities, multiply as much as you can, multiply them, because the goal of this is to grasp the concept, and then from there instinctually ingrain it into your everyday life. So that way you can activate it and multiply your chances of winning. Okay, multiply your chances of winning, right? Experiment, test everything. If you're doing reels, right? How many reels do you want to do every single day? Right? If you're doing just posts, how many posts do you want to do every single day? If you're going out there to network, what places are you going to? What is the best event to go to, attend? What's going to give you the best chance at winning, right? It's always, and Crystal and I were talking about this earlier today, before the call, but she was just saying, you got to just close one deal, right? It's just one deal at a time. That's it. You just got to close one deal at a time. Imagine having 100 deals on your table and you are like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know which one to start with. I just got to go one at a time. That's what I've experienced too. My DMs flooded. I don't even have to worry anymore about, am I going to close the deal or not? Because I had so many options, right? That's the goal. That's your positioning right there. That's when you have traffic. You have a social media marketing strategy in play at all times for yourself. You now are in a position of authority. You are now in a position of respect, of admiration, of operation, of opportunity, of winning. Okay. We're going to talk about social media on the next call. It's about brand positioning. It's about product positioning. It's about, your perceived value, the people that are receiving your information, your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom, your energy. There's more things that go with branding. That's personal branding right there. There's so many different ways that we can talk about marketing, but personal branding, social media marketing efforts, your positioning, right? Activations of social media, evergreen content campaigns, viral content campaigns. There's so many different types of posts that you can do. There's so many strategies you can run, but it just depends on which one you want to take. But test everything, get good at everything. And then after you audit yourself, you're going to master the ones that you are really the best at. And then from there, you're just going to activate every single thing else afterwards. You have to optimize around your life, optimize around your operations, increase the traffic, and continue to pour fuel on the fire. Okay. It's 7 o'clock. So I hope this was helpful. Again, this right here, multiply your chances of winning. Multiply your chances of winning by focusing on the income producing activities, the money making moves, the things that are going to move the energy towards you closing one deal, one more deal, one more deal, one more deal. Okay. That's all it is. Impacting someone else's life, changing someone's life, influencing their life for the better, for themselves, for them, a positive benefit for them. In return, you're going to receive a positive benefit too. Help as many people win, right? Just continue to help more people win in life. Help them get to their goals, their dreams. That's what FIREHOUR is doing. Our intention is to help everyone achieve their goals and dreams who are willing to do the work, who are willing to become the best version of themselves, who are willing to step their game up, to step into a leadership role, to become the best version that they can be. Today is day 1 of the 90-day run. Let's get it. Okay. Dominate your path. We love you all. Again, thank you for holding space. Crush it and make moves happen. All right. Make your money making moves happen. All right. Let your learning lead to action. We hope you're inspired. Get it. Okay. Get after it. You got this.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Love you all. Take care.